So welcome back to Stack Dive. I am working on an open source search engine that I'm creating today, working in FastAPI. And by the time this video is over, oh, my application should be quite operational. So I've got a bunch of API endpoints. I'm trying to keep this application's number of endpoints quite low. And the last things I have left to do are start crawl, stop crawl, pause crawl. Now, the way this works is this application I've made is called Open Engine. You can find it linked in the description. And it crawls web pages that get sent to it. So in fact, actually, I'll just show you roughly what it's going to end up looking like. CD frontend svelte app. I can do npm run dev, and this will show you what the final thing might end up looking like. Yes. Yeah, so you would have some search engine, like this one here, and then I would say, I don't know, Tesla. And this is just an example of what it would look like. Example title, the place on darkness, wing wong ding dong, just some random stuff. And on this admin console, I would have this seed earls, so I can add in seed earls. This doesn't work yet. This delete does work, but it's just this isn't the front end isn't fully operational, just the back end. And then I would have in here start crawl. You can just see this, it gives me alerts, stop crawl and pause crawl. And once I've got this part working where I can add a seed earl and I can delete them and I can visit them, etc., etc., and I have the crawl set up, then that's all I need for this thing to essentially work and for this part of the search engine to work. I just need to hook up the search engine and it's all done. So that is the last part that I'm going to be doing is this crawl, making these things work. Start crawl, stop crawl, pause crawl. So I'll kill my Vite server and get started. So if you can hear a baby crying in the background, that is my son and his mother's with him, so don't worry about that. Start the calling process. Okay. So let's come here to test main. So I like to do this using whatever you call it, test-driven development. And I'm going to need async IO. And I'm going to need a couple of locks. So let's go for pause equals AI event and what main. Sorry, gather. Got pause and end. Do another one. End equals async IO dot event. Oh, actually, do I need this? No, I don't actually. Don't need these events just yet. So checks the start crawl endpoint correctly, starts a crawl and searches web page. Now, what I want to do is import base site. So what this is I'm using PyTest for this. PyTest is a Python testing framework, and it allows you to create things called fixtures. Fixtures are pieces of code that you can repeat and that you can repeatedly use. In tests. So, for example, in this case, This one is scoped to function, which means this piece of code, if I import it, all of this information, all of this code will run. This is all the setup. I yield the thing that I want to pass back to the test, and then after the yield, all of this code will run. All the code below the yield. So I've got this finally, but you don't need the finally. That's just there because this is a try finally block, just so happens to be. You can see here, for example, yield client, and I don't need the try block. I don't need finally. I don't need any of that. Okay. So what I've got is a local site. Now this local site uses this location, test data, simple site, and it serves that test data. I don't think I need this anymore. It serves that test data, which allows me to check that a crawl is working correctly by passing in this URL. I can basically send in this URL, and this should work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure I'm using local site, and I can't actually remember what local site gives me, so I'm just going to print local site. That's the first thing I'm going to do, and then I'm going to assert false so that it will actually tell me what it's doing. And then the way you get to a single test that you're working on is like this. Oh, you can't actually see it, but it looks like this on your terminal. So you should be able to. You can see where it's going. So I've got pytest, tests, app tests, test main.py, : test crawl, and that is following this directory path here into test main and then into this function. So if I run this now, it's going to fail. Oh no, was it no test ran? File or directory not found. Tests, app tests, test main.py. Test. Oh, I didn't save it. Okay. No test ran. Why is it saying that now? Directory not found. Just check if. Oh, I see. The issue is I'm actually still inside of Svelte app, so let's go here again. Taking a bit of time, I imagine, to set up the local site. Captured SDR, get test simple site 301-200. Fixture. Empty vector client not found. Press client, base vector client. So I just want to say vector client or something, do I? Let's just get rid of all this for now. Oh, it's nice. Site directory is this. I'm just going to check now in test gather how I was using this. So I've got local site, page 1, server L. Get the client. Right, let's just copy this. Yes, started. Oh, hello. We have a viewer. So empty Postgres client. Yeah. So this should be my server URL, the initial thing that I want to search through. Ah, Snowchild. Oh, he's gone again. Let's undo some of this stuff now. No, I don't want to do this log resource stuff. I don't need to. Instead, what I want to do is, I'm not going to do that. Instead, I'm going to say sync with async client as AC, store the Postgres database. No. Start a crawl. Start crawl. Give that valid token URL server URL. Is it Delta? Don't need that, do I? Actually, that's a good point. Give this stuff. No, I don't actually. Do I? I'm just going to say I don't need it for now. So all I need is the regex patterns. Before I do it, I'm going to add CDLs. CDL authorization bearer valid token URL server URL. So this is just me adding a CDL. So adding one of these, basically, so that when I start the crawl, it will go from there. Okay. Sorry. So yeah, it will use that CDL to start the crawl, and that should theoretically give me what I'm looking for. So assert response status code is 200. Crawl started successfully, and what I want back is streaming token on. Okay, it's going to give me this for now, but this will be useful later on when I want to follow the updates of the stream. So if you see on here, I've got this tracker. What this will end up being is a stream of what's happening in the crawl. So this is just to re-explain what's going on. OpenEngine is a tool I want to make for crawling the web, searching only web pages that you're interested in. And the idea is you can set it up with CDERLs, and then you can start a crawl, and then, oops, you can't actually see it because, yeah, and then you can search it as if it's like Google search, and search only the web places that you want to search. So what I'm working on now is starting the crawl, stopping the crawl, and pausing the crawl with a set of endpoints that I've set up in my FastAPI application. Start crawl, stop crawl, pause crawl. And in this stream, I'm just going to go through and show how all of these things can be created. So at the moment I'm on start crawl and I'm doing test-driven development. So this is where I'm at basically with this. I don't need to do this. And I'm sending, so I've already got a add seed URL endpoint, and I'm sending the server URL of the local site that I'm setting up to test with. And that is then going to be used to start a crawl. And this crawl is going to say, okay, I'm going to use these regex patterns. I mean, do I even need to do that? Technically, no. Because you could get it from the CDERLs. Regardless, I'm going to say that this is an optional thing that you don't have to have this come in. And in order to make sure that that does actually work, I'm going to make a new class. This is Pydantic. So Pydantic lets you create data serialization and deserialization objects, and this allows you to check data as it's coming into your API. And Python normally is untyped, it doesn't really care, and so if data comes in and it's wrong, it doesn't matter. But this is a way where you can make sure it does care. So do I want a token? No, I don't care about a token. I care about regex optional list str. And it's optional because technically you should be able to get these patterns from the CDERL itself rather than searching for it. Okay. I might have to change some stuff actually now I'm thinking about it. Let's just see what we get to. So we've got this crawl started successfully, streaming token none, and then I don't know how long it would take actually to get through this. So if I do time.sleep, do I even need to? Maybe. .sleep 5 might be enough. Oops. And I'm going to run this and it won't work, but that's expected because this is test-driven development. And it takes forever to set up, which is annoying. Okay, response validation, one validation error. Cool. So let's go into main. Let's import crawl data. let's come to start the URL crawling process. Token crawl data. So this, saying this is crawl data and it's equal to crawl data, this should search the JSON input and find the information that I want, basically. So get the regex patterns. Start the, oh yeah, I need to check. First of all, I just need to check that. Check token is valid. Bam. And this is just me checking if the JSON web token that I've provided gives the person who's sending information to this endpoint the right to use this endpoint. Start the crawling process. Let's just print crawl data for now, then see what that does. So 22 equals 200. Token is valid. Yep, that's good. Oh yeah. So I just need to say this is the empty Postgres client. This is something else you have to do. So override the dependency. So this is also a nice feature of FastAPI, is that inside of something like main, you can have these depends functions, and this says, okay, I want Postgres client, and it depends on this function. So this function has to run first, and then this endpoint will run. And Postgres client will be whatever the return value of get Postgres client is. In this case, it's going to be Postgres client, which is this thing here. These haven't been set up yet, and these functions will set it up. But because these are mockable in your test framework, you can just mock what they're supposed to say, what they're supposed to return, and that makes the whole thing much more testable, because for some reason they didn't like this. Oh yeah, that's right. Get quadrant client as well. So I can have in my conf test pytest file, which is where all my fixtures are, I can set up clients for testing with test data and stuff in them, and then override this dependency and return what I want to return. And this lambda function is just, this is an anonymous function in Python. So you have to replace a function with a function. So I just say lambda and it returns empty Postgres client, lambda, and it returns the vector client. So now when I run, it shouldn't complain about not being able to post a CDL. It should just say validation error or something. Oh no, it's still giving me this. Why? Token is valid, cleaning up. Assertion error. What is 422 anyway? Response. search response to status code is 200. Let's just do that as well, just to check that it's not that part that's failing. Okay, so it's not failing there. That's good. So it's only failing on start crawl. Nice. That's what we want. And so we want to start the crawling process. Await gather. Oh, I don't want to await it actually. Gather. So top, what do I want to do? I want to tracker. On. No. Crawl control. Pause. None. And none. So what I'm going to do is I am going to use this global crawl control to put in async IO events that when set will either pause or end the crawl. And that means they're easily reachable by endpoints. Actually, no, rather than do it, let's call it crawl. Crawl pause. None. And not. There's probably a better way of doing this, but I'm just going to do it this way. And say up here, async def get crawl pause gets the pause event. It makes it much simpler to mock the events. Tests return crawl pause. Yep. Return crawl end. Nice. So start the crawling process, gather. Now this is where I need to set up my async IO events. So say async IO. What async IO here? So an async IO event is basically just an asynchronous holder of an on-off flag. And if is it event? I think it's event. It's capital. So if you set them, so if I did end.set, this would flip this event from yes to no, effectively true to false. And that can be used to change the operation of some asynchronous process that's running. So you can see in my crawler, I also accept pause and end async IO events. Now, if I just highlight that, you can see while pause is not while not pause.is set, so whilst pause isn't set, then I'm going to run through this crawler. And the other one is if end.is set, I'm going to break. I'm going to end this crawler. I'm not going to crawl anything anymore. And this allows me to start the crawler and then asynchronously stop the crawler. Okay. So set up the crawler, await.gather, vector client, Postgres client, .gather, what does it actually need? Oh, port it gather. Cool.gather. Gather is not defined. Oh, come. Bedding model. Yeah, so let's also do syncdef get embedding model, and this is the model turn. Go to test gather. I've probably got one set up somewhere. In fact, actually, I've probably got one in conf test. Model. Here it is. This one. So this is a model from a. This is a model from a Python package that lets you embed text, so turn text into vectors. And this model's needed during the crawling process because when I'm pulling in an URL's information, I get all the text information on the page and I embed it into a vector, and that vector is what gets searched. And if you don't know what a vector is, it's just a collection of numbers. And almost like most people know X, Y, Z, or at least X, Y. So if you look at a chart, you have X and Y, and I could have a Y coordinate and an X coordinate, and that tells me the position of a point on that XY plane. And if you go to X, Y, Z, it tells you the position of a point in 3D. And if you had 4 coordinates, it would be 4 numbers, a vector of length 4. You would know the position of something in 4 dimensions. In this case, we've got 384 dimensions, and the position of the point in all those dimensions is related to what the text means, so that pieces of text that are similar to one another are close to each other in the 384 dimensional space. I think hopefully that makes sense. If you are interested in understanding that more, then let me know in a comment or something, and I'll do my best to do a live stream on how that works. Okay. So delete CDL, update CDL, start crawl, blah, 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 embedding model. So we're going to do depends on embedding model equals depends, get embedding model, nice. Okay. Raw data.regex, yeah, I don't need that. Don't need that. But maybe I do need the max iter at this point. So we're going to come here. Max iter int. Optional int. And optional means that the person doesn't actually have to send it for the crawl data to work. Patterns, okay, so maybe I do want max iter. patterns data.regex pause equals pause, end equals end. If we come to gather, got all of these, get rid of them. Instead, say model pause end done. Nice. Technically, there's no unpause endpoint yet, but that's okay. Okay, so now let's see if this works. So test main, I want to do regex patterns, and I want to do, actually, I'll tell you what, I'll just do regex because that's what I've got there, and I want to do, yeah, max iter 4. Let's see what happens if I do this. I didn't actually return anything, so I want to return that. This is probably going to fail. Let's do print points and then assert false. And the reason I'm asserting false is because this allows, when PyTest fails, it prints out information, otherwise it won't print it out. Wow, this is really slow. Why is it being so slow? Something's gone wrong. Kill, kill, kill. Yeah, I guess what's going wrong is there are no resources. Okay, so in gather.py, it's got an L queue, it's got response queue, it's got CNLs, it's got the client, it's got all earls. Oh wait, db.fetch, db client.fetch, select earl. Do await storage.getSeeder. Storage import getSeeders. A lot of this needs to change. I think I need to update this from DB client to Postgres client. Now. All else equals CDOS is going to come back as, oops. CDOS is going to come back as something else. So actually I want it to be, get the CDOS. So CDOS equals CDOS, because pretty sure storage, it's returning a list of crawled earls. No. A list of str. Oh no, it's not. Str returning. Okay, let's get rid of this. Let's change this. Let's use the proper type. Bam. I think that's it. I think it's just a... That is it. Do that now. Nice. So this is just... I have this data type cdirl, and I want to return that from storage. In fact, I should probably... Why is this still here? Go away. Kill that. Terminal. Tests. Test. Test get seed. This will probably fail. Yeah. Assertion error. Yeah. Storage over that. Model. That's what they say to do. And then if you say, well, actually, this is a list of cdirls, suddenly doing this. Now it shouldn't being stupid. Or is it model dump, maybe? Stop model dump. Potentially. Oh, that's annoying. Okay. Once, so is it dump model? Where would it be? God, this is frustrating. Ah, it is model dump. Okay. Let's try this then. Ta-da! There we go. That works again. So Where was I? Gather. cdels await get cdels db client earl dot earl cdels. Probably broken some other stuff actually doing this, but never mind. From storage import get cdels. So when it hangs like this, oh no, it's all good. So is that in tests? Raw data. That max height equals that. That is that. Checks. Ah, I see. Complaining about this retry L's bit. Maybe it should be the other way around. cdels plus equals retry L's. Used anywhere else. Fine. I think a lot of this needs some refactoring. Wait for the process to finish. I suppose technically the crawler never really has no real end. No real automatic end. Well, it's got the max iter actually, I suppose. There is no max iter. It'll go forever. Yeah, there's a lot to be changed here. Anyway, back to the task at hand. So I've got this time.sleep points, print the points, right. So that shouldn't be a problem anymore unless I haven't deleted the other bit. I have, so that's good. Cool. Let's see what happens. All right. These are the filtered earls. Got all this output, that's nice. Station failed. All token. Okay. What am I actually turning? Streaming token. Token streaming. Last move was right. Raw token sounds better. Data. Token. Message call started successfully. So Stra. Okay. Let's see if this works. Oh man. It seems to be doing everything it needs to do. String type. Input should be a valid string, input none. Oh yeah, okay. Or none. Cheers, man. Okay, assertion error. We're almost there. Hopefully once I will certainly try and be consistent at streaming. Fortunately, I cannot really massively promise anything, but if I am consistent, it will be on a Tuesday, it will be on a Thursday, and it will be on Friday and on the weekends. So I consistently say on some of those days I will stream. But the actual timings, maybe I'll make a channel banner where I say streaming consistently roughly after 6 p.m. UK time. Something like that. on possibly Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Start crawl, blah blah blah. Message. Okay. Stream token. Crawl started successfully. Yeah. Okay, come on. Let's make it through to the points. Let's make it through to here. Past the time.sleep to the points. Yes, come on. So we got all these points now. That's nice. What am I expecting again? I can just copy this from here. Wait, crawler. What am I expecting to see? Test gather. Oh no, this is it. Aha, okay. We want to do this apparently. Let's start from resources. Okay, so I actually got that as something else. Yep, the Palpatine on the thumbnail. That's a reference to Return of the Jedi, I think. Could be showing my age a bit. Not that I was alive, obviously, when that was made, but I don't know how many people watch that anymore. I watched it when I was a kid, because my family showed it to me. Points equals A weight, blah, 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 blah. Test main, test gather. Where's that? I'm just going to copy all of this. Test main. Fetch. So if I do empty Postgres client.fetch. So do I want to even do that though? Could I? This is the other parts of my API. Say, no, actually no, I'm not gonna bother. Let's just use this. Let's use this and see if it works. Doo-doo. Oh, it failed. Okay, so maybe it needs a bit more time. Or maybe I need to do an async IO sleep. Actually, yeah, let's do an async IO sleep. This is a really cool trick you can do. I don't know if other people use it, but I often find that ChatGPT is so verbose in what it says. It just gives you so much stuff that you don't care about. Whereas if you just say at the end, be brief, it gives you basically what you're looking for, as opposed to all the nonsense where it's like, here's async IO used in this, here's it using this, here's this, here's that, here's this. And you're like, oh, no, I'm not interested in all that crap. I just want that small, tiny little thing here. Just tell me that. But yeah, be brief. Works like a charm. Okay. If this works, I think we're actually going to be quite close to this being done, because the... Oh, come on. Really? Why is that? Oh, I see why. I know why. It's because the resource... There's normally an extra resource, that's why. Okay, let's see if I can see how much I can cut this down. Let's see if I give it 2 seconds. If that works. Where am I at live? Okay, let's see if I can... Yeah. It's not too far back. I was looking at the stream settings today, and I've got it on normal latency, which apparently gives you higher quality. but is slower. It's not that much slower. A second or so behind or something. All right. Local site page 2. Vector Earls, DB Earls, set vector Earls equals set DB Earls. Okay, that one passes. What doesn't pass is... Oh, it's good to see actually that they don't actually need that much time. I wonder if I just wait 1 second if it will do it. Session error. Results 1-1. Let's print the results and see what it is. I like it. I love Be Brief because it's more like a human. It's so much more like a human. Like if you, well, I guess some people do go on a bit, but nowhere near as much as ChatGPT. If you just said, "Oh, how do I do a sleep in async IO?" Someone would just go await async IO.sleep. They wouldn't then tell you about async IO and like, I mean, like, oh, I don't know. If I started a new one, oh, actually, it's not going to work because I hello. There we go. Nice. Because I've got like some special commands set up that says be brief. But the way it can just go on sometimes. Anyway. So I printed all the results. Okay, so we've got record IDL, blah blah blah. 1-1. First visited. Oh, I see. So I can actually just do 0-1, 0-1 here. And the reason of this is because in the previous test gather, before the test started, I was logging a resource so that the gather function would work. But I don't actually want to do that in this one. I want to pass in a seed URL instead. And so there is no extra resource, whereas this one starts with an extra resource. So I have to do, if I want to see the URLs added, I have to go to result index 1, not index 0, to check. So if I bring it back, if I come back to test main, if I bring that back, this should now work. There we go, passed. Okay, so I'm just going to PyTest everything now, just because I've made some changes and I think probably it is going to cause stuff to fail. Maybe I'll fix it now. Maybe I won't bother. This is the one that could fail. Yeah, failed. Why did that fail? Gather, missing 2 positional. Ah, okay. Oh, that's actually not so bad. Let's gather. Why do I actually call it? Doo-doo. and pause equals pause, end equals end. Have you managed yeah, to do fix it later? Yeah, never a good idea. To-dos never get fixed. They just end up being in there forever. They ended up being part of my code forever. Yeah, these are all passing now, apart from that one which always fails, which is fine because it's an assert false. So Snowchild, have you managed to use Supermaven yet? I think the first stream you ever watched of mine, I mentioned it. It is so good. Okay, test main. Okay, so all of that's actually working now. So the next one is going to be, let's figure out a way to pause you. Def stop crawl. Yeah, let's try that one. Yep. So this is all Supermaven. This is awesome. It just literally just writes it all for you. Yep, CDL added successfully. I'm going to start the crawl and then I'm going to immediately stop the crawl. Hopefully, when I then run my tests here, which don't need to be side of here, these won't actually work. So response.json crawl stopped successfully. So this would fail if I ran it immediately. Just going to get, do I need any of this? No. Set the length of results is less than 4. Points is less than 4. You should definitely get Supermaven. It's always like, it's almost like I'm a shill for Supermaven, the amount that I mention it, but I'm not. It's just amazing and it's free, so well, may as well use it. Yeah, so let's do test stop crawl. I think that's what I've called it. That should fail because there's nothing even in here. And then I can do if not auth, check that, blah, blah, blah. Get the crawl process. Get crawl process. I don't need to do that. I should be able to just do stop crawl. Don't need a crawl token. I just need and crawln.set return message. Crawl stopped successfully. And this should hopefully be all I need. Here we go. I think you were saying, Snowchild, you were working on something else, weren't you? Working on You're not working on Python. You've done some stuff in Python, but you work in Java, is that right? Or app development? Non-type object does no attribute shout. Hey? Oh yeah. So I need to do this and say I want global pause, global crawl end. Nice. JavaScript. Oh, right, okay. Have you done anything in Python since watching the first stream? Okay. Right. Let's see. That's annoying. Oh, it's got an A weight in it. Lol. That was the issue. Shouldn't be an issue now. The other one might fail though. Ah, shame. Cool. Passed. Let's see if the other one still passed. Test start crawl. Aha. That fails now. Which means to have a little sync io.sleep. 5-second wait. Assert 0. What if I did that? As in what he's saying, don't use Python. How could somebody be so narrow-minded? Okay, so I think what's happening here is this is A waiting on this gather. Which means it doesn't finish. Okay, yeah, I know, actually, no, that's fine. So if I just await that still, doesn't really matter, does it? Yeah, that's fine. So what was happening was this function was running, but then when it exited, it killed the gather process. So the gather process is just running in the background on the machine. And as long as I await it, it keeps running. But if you don't await it, then it lets the function die. And when that function dies, it kills the process. So maybe I do only need async IO1. But does that just mean it's really fast? Am I awaiting something else? Yeah, I am. Okay, I see. So if I want to start the crawl, but not await at the start of the crawl. So I can await that, but then I don't await this. That should fix the issue. Don't care if I get a response or not. Let's try that. Well, the other thing the Primergen says is you can't be a React Andy. You can't be a JavaScript Andy, man. You need to learn another language. Why not Python? Check out that modular mojo. So good. Oh crap, it's actually growing more than I thought. This is a new programming language being made by the chap who created LLVM, which is which is the compiler basically that everybody uses for CPUs. He helped develop the TPU at Google, which is the tensor processing unit, which is used for machine learning. And now he's developing a new compiler that is going to use this language called Mojo. Well, he's already sort of developed the new compiler tech, but this language is going to make best use of it. And it's going to be using Python syntax. So, you know, learn your Python syntax now. Get extremely fast code. No C++ or CUDA required. Come on. Extend Python all the way down to the metal. Yeah. Okay. Non-type object has no attributes set. Client.close, enable tracer lock. What's the issue here? Oh, did it not? Didn't time maybe? Yeah, I want to do async io.sleep. In fact, how long is that sleep? Also, oh yeah, it's for 2 seconds. All right, so async io.sleep 0.5 seconds. Let's see if that does the business. Type object set. So if I await this, I kill that. Do I get this? Issue. I have tried Golang, yes. It is actually really, really nice, Golang. To be honest, most type languages are really nice. Like I think one of the things Python does suffer from is not being typed. I think JavaScript is the same, right? So it's powerful to not have types, and it's powerful to have types as well. Yeah, Golang is definitely worth it. Yeah. Golang is actually very similar to Python syntax. I don't know if they based it off of Python syntax. What? I don't know if I believe you, ChatGPT. Aha! ChatGPT is wrong. Or maybe not. Okay, so that failed because that was too long to wait. I'm gonna have to get this just right. Man, what the hell? Oh no, yeah, it's because I'm waiting. That's why. 3 seconds. Actually, maybe I should just give it like, if I give it 10 seconds or something. You have to await this. Oh. Oh. That makes sense. Okay, so now if I await for 0.5 seconds. C for Gen Z. Yeah. Yeah. I really like C actually. I got to did Code Wars challenges in C for a long time. And that's what got me deeper into coding, because in order to start completing some of the challenges on Code Wars in C, you have to go deep into the computer. There were basically things where they're saying, "Oh, what's the stack?" Oh, I can't remember what it's called now. Oh, it's like the stack protocol or something. Non-type. Why is it doing this? Non-type attributes, no attribute set. Raw end.set. But it doesn't do that. There's nothing else for it. Arrays, patterns. Patterns? What do you mean by patterns? You mean design patterns? Pens in. I think if I can't solve this quickly, I'm going to give up. Not give up, but end the stream. Do I need to say global? Maybe I need to do that. Global end. Possibly. Let's just try that whilst ChatGPT. Print triangle using star. I'm not sure I follow you, Snowchild. I feel like this is wrong. I feel like this is wrong, but I don't have... Yeah, C programming is awesome. It is really awesome. It's awesome and horrible because it gives you so much power. And it's horrible because with that power, you mess everything up and break everything. And it expects you to know why you did it, and you often don't. Okay, I'm going to cut the stream here. My goal of this was to show you how you can do this. I guess this... I think this could be a viable method, except for the fact that I'm testing it except for the way I'm testing it. I think that's the only thing preventing it from being valid. Although, actually, let me see. Might have something to compare with. Yeah, I think this should work. I guess it's probably something to do with testing. I had to guess. I'll look into it. And maybe at the start of the next live stream, I'll explain what went wrong. Thank you very much. Thank you, Snowchild. Good to have you along for the stream. Next one probably won't be tomorrow. Possibly could be Tuesday, and I might stream some Flutter stuff. I might create something on Flutter on Tuesday, which is like an app that I'm making for a company I'm working for. I might also do something else later tonight as well. I might produce the app in Figma, maybe. But yeah. With a NCS music. What's that? NCS music. Oh, right. I suppose I could do. There was... Oh, it's a channel. Goodbye. I don't know how loud that is, but it's quite loud for me.